Hello and welcome to my channel. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. If you haven't subscribed yet, please don't forget to do so. It really means the world to me. So in today's video, I want to go through the list of designer items that I tend to buy the most, or maybe the list of different categories of designer items that I end up buying on repeat. And spoiler alert, I'm not going to be talking about handbags. I know that for many people who are into luxury, handbags tend to be the main thing or maybe the main point for expenditure. And I also really like to buy handbags, but I feel like when it comes to some of the categories of items that I tend to buy on repeat, they are actually not handbags. They tend to be within the realm of shoes, accessories, and ready to wear. So the reason that I'm filming this video is because I just kind of wanted to share my experience. I wanted to share my preferences and show you some of the things that I think are, generally speaking, really good buys, no matter where you are in your luxury journey. And I also have a very quick unboxing for you today as well. I got 3 items from ready-to-wear lines from a couple of different designers. And so as I speak about different categories today, I'm also going to do a little bit of an unboxing. So anyway, without further ado, let's get started. And the first category I want to mention today are designer sunglasses. Well, I think this is probably an obvious one. First of all, generally speaking, designer sunglasses don't really break the bank, and they really do come at very different price points. You can spend anywhere from, I do not know, 300, 400 US dollars to 1,000 or 1,500 US dollars and up. So, there is a lot of range here, and you are able to find something that actually really fits your style and fits your personality. I also think the reason I buy so many designer sunglasses is because it is an easy way to adjust your outfit and kind of change up the vibe of your outfit a little bit. I feel like I have a very broad range of designer sunglasses, and some of them I have had probably for 10, 12, or even 15 years. And even though, when it comes to trending sunglasses and fashionable sunglasses, things do always change, I kind of feel like we've been, buying this sort of oversized sunglasses for some time now, and at least I think that they always remain relevant. I also like to buy sunglasses that are kind of statement sunglasses, maybe a bit colorful, a bit bright and sparkly and different looking. And I feel that this way, through those sunglasses, I can really elevate my outfit. I also like to have a very wide range of sunglasses, and I'm going to include some B-roll and maybe show you some of the sunglasses that I have, because this allows me to pick the type of sunglasses that I really feel like wearing on a certain day. And another point here, I kind of like to match the color of the lenses or the frames of my sunglasses to the main colors in my outfit. So if I'm wearing a very light outfit that basically includes beige and pastel colors, I really do not like wearing black sunglasses. I think that black sunglasses just kind of stand out, and they look like they don't really belong in a light outfit like this. So for this reason, I also really like to have quite a few different sunglasses, so I can sort of match the colors of my sunglasses and sunglass frames to the colors that I'm using within my outfit. And another quick point here, I also think that when it comes to sunglasses, there are so many varieties and so many interesting options out there. For example, I'm going to show these Loewe sunglasses one more time on my channel. I haven't bought them, and maybe I actually won't, just because, once again, I have so many sunglasses already. But look at these sunglasses. They are basically like a double frame sunglasses, so you're sort of getting 2 frames, but 1 pair of sunglasses. And I think they just look so unique and different. And I feel like you can wear a simple t-shirt and a simple pair of shorts or trousers, and if you put on these sunglasses, they instantly elevate your outfit and they make that outfit so much more unique. And something else I wanted to mention, I also unboxed a pair of sunglasses on this channel not too long ago that I actually got on a pre-loved market. They were my first ever purchase on a pre-loved market, and they are the Incognito sunglasses from Maison Margiela that came out back in 2008. And to me, they are such a unique statement piece that basically transcends any timelines and transcends any type of, luxury fashion or luxury trends. So I think this is also one of the reasons that I really like sunglasses, because in some ways I feel like if you are buying a unique pair, that pair would actually last you for a very long time. Another favorite of mine is this pair from Swarovski. So I got them as a present for Christmas from my husband. And again, I just love this pair. It has all of these Swarovski crystals against this black background, and the same thing as I said before, you could wear the simplest outfit ever, but if you put on a pair of these sunglasses, it instantly changes and elevates the outfit and makes it so much more interesting. So anyway, when it comes to designer items that I buy the most, sunglasses are definitely the category that I tend to spend, a lot of money on. And with sunglasses, you can also get different pairs of sunglasses that are part of collaborations between different designers. So obviously, some of my favorite pairs come from Maison Margiela and the Gentle Monster collaboration. I'm actually going to put a pair of sunglasses on the screen that I just purchased online earlier today. Once again, I just think they're so cool and so different, and I think they are going to remain relevant no matter what becomes trendy or fashionable within this, broader world of luxury fashion. And by the way, my name is Lisa, and I'm your guide to savvy luxury shopping no matter where in the world you are. Subscribe to my channel to learn more about luxury shopping with the emphasis on quality and timelessness of your items. The second category for today are tabby shoes from Maison Margiela. So if you've been watching my channel, you probably know that I am really a fan of tabbies, even though, once again, it seems like the internet actually really hates them. But with this being said, I think once we started talking about quiet luxury, I seem to be seeing more and more tabby shoes online. It seems like maybe the tides are changing. But in any case, for me, tabbies are a classic. They are kind of a staple for me. And at the moment, I actually have three pairs. So a simple black pair, flat, nice black pair that basically function as my everyday tabbies. And then I also bought not one, but two pairs from the Maison Margiela and Christian Louboutin collaboration. I think those are really kind of collector's pieces. And to be honest, I haven't worn any of the pairs just yet. Once again, simply because I do think that they are so special. But I am planning to wear them and to use them because, at least in my collection, I like to actually use the items that I spend my money on. And I know that maybe for somebody who likes tabby shoes so much, three pairs is actually not that many pairs, but I constantly keep an eye out on other tabbies that are available. And right now, I'm really trying to find a couple of pairs that I saw in the last collection of John Galliano for Maison Margiela. So I tracked down these tabby loafers. I think they are available on Farfetch right now. And at least by looking at the runway collection, I think these are the loafers that appeared in so many different looks in that collection. And the price is actually quite steep, especially when it comes to just kind of the prices that we see for Maison Margiela shoes. So I'm not sure if I'm going to invest just that much into a pair of tabbies, but I am definitely considering to buy these. And also there is another pair of kind of cloth tabbies. I think they're called boat shoes, that is also available online right now. And they are very similar to some of the shoes, some of the tabby shoes that we saw also on the runway in the last collection of John Galliano for Maison Margiela. So I'm also just kind of trying to see whether I want to invest in this other pair. In any case, when it comes to tabbies, I am sure I will continue buying additional tabby shoes, boots, flats, whatever they are, to further expand my collection. I just love those shoes. I still think they're so interesting and so unique. And I actually feel it is quite easy to style them, because when you have a simple outfit, I feel like a pair of tabbies actually make that outfit a bit more interesting. But if you do have an elevated outfit, I feel like a pair of tabbies can sort of bring it down a notch so that that outfit actually becomes a little bit more acceptable for, let's say, every day. So anyway, I feel like there is always an interesting way to actually style tabbies in your collection, and I'm definitely planning to expand my collection of tabby shoes as well. And speaking of tabbies, I actually wanted to do a quick unboxing of a pair of socks that I got from the last collection of John Galliano for Maison Margiela. So, I recently filmed a video in which I talked about the fact that increasingly I look at my collection of luxury items as a true collection. And I want to collect and I want to have and use, pieces that are sort of standout pieces that maybe have a little bit of historic significance. And, Maison Margiela being my most favorite designer brand ever, I definitely wanted to get at least one item from the last collection that was done by John Galliano for the house of Maison Margiela. John Galliano spent about 10 years, I believe, with Maison Margiela, and we cannot argue with the fact that he has really done so much when it comes to elevating the status of Maison Margiela on the world fashion stage. So I've been looking very closely at the last collection, which was the Spring-Summer 2024 collection that we saw on the runway and that was then available for purchase. And of course, since now it's 2025, it is a bit difficult to still find something online. But I found a pair of socks online on Maison Margiela website, and this pair of socks has appeared in so many different looks from that collection. So I thought this would be a really nice piece of memorabilia to have. And I'm still planning to wear the socks as well because socks are trending right now. But even when this trend actually stops, I still feel like these socks are sort of a very, very small piece of history. Anyway, so I got this pair of socks from Maison Margiela website. And my order actually came in this white box by Maison Margiela. And that's because I actually marked that my purchase is a gift because I wanted to get nice packaging. I love this white box. And let's see on the inside. And on the inside, we have an envelope with all the information. So I'm going to set it aside. And then the pair of socks themselves also came in this nicely packaged tissue paper. So this was actually a really nice, substantial sticker. And the pair of socks hopefully looks just like they do on the pictures from the runway. Here they are. They're just kind of composed of two materials, right? We have the thicker material on top here and the thinner material on the bottom. They are quite pricey for a pair of socks, $460 US. But again, when it comes to, these socks being present on the runway, I think for me at least, for somebody who really loves Maison Margiela, this is a nice collector's piece. So they have the black bows right here, and the socks are made in Italy according to the tag. All right, moving on. The third category of items that I tend to buy on repeat are button-up shirts. And this could be cotton shirts, linen shirts, and also silk shirts. And I'm talking about white and pastel colored shirts, but also shirts that have a little bit more embellishment and shirts that have a little bit more color. So I know maybe this is a really broad category, but the bottom line is, when it comes to putting together outfits, I feel like one of the easiest things to do is to wear a pair of jeans or a pair of trousers with a button-up shirt. And all of these button-up shirts do not need to be the same because there are so many designers and so many different options that we can choose from. And generally speaking, I like shirts that stand out a little bit. Not just a simple, white button down, but a shirt that actually has something unique about it. So when it comes to uniqueness, some of my favorite brands are the following. Let's start with Vivienne Westwood. So there is this Drunken Tailor shirt. I'm going to put a couple of pictures right here that I think looks very statementy and very unique. And generally speaking, when it comes to ready-to-wear items from Vivienne Westwood, they're really not that expensive when it comes to designer prices, and at the end of the season they tend to go on sale. So I myself have this Drunken Tailor shirt in kind of dark navy, dark blue color, but they actually come in so many iterations, prints, and colors that it is definitely possible to choose the one that you like. I'm actually going to find a couple of them online and link them in the description box down below. Another designer that I really like when it comes to button-up or button-down shirts, I'm never sure really what the name is, but another designer that I really like when it comes to shirts like this is Loro Piana. And I like their linen pieces a lot, which do look definitely much more simple, but because they are made out of linen, I think these shirts look like high-quality shirts, and they can kind of elevate any summer outfit. Besides, linen is just so light and breathy and wearable in the summer. I think that a button-up shirt from Loro Piana is kind of a no-brainer. And generally speaking, I also like the price point for Loro Piana button-up shirts simply because they tend to be, cheaper than most items and most ready-to-wear items from this particular brand. So I recently, okay, maybe not that recently, about a year ago or maybe 10 months ago, bought myself this pink linen shirt from Loro Piana, and I just love it for the summer and the spring months. And I'm also going to show you just basically this same shirt, but in kind of this military green color that is available online right now. Anyway, I think this is such a great option, such an elevated statement piece, and something that you would be able to wear for many, many years to come. Another designer that I really love when it comes to button-up shirts is MM6 by Maison Margiela. So I talk about Maison Margiela a lot, obviously, but when it comes to button-up shirts, I actually wanted to specifically mention MM6 because this is kind of like the lower end of the brand. So a lot of the prices are not really that expensive when it comes to luxury, and a lot of MM6 ready-to-wear also tends to go on sale. But I feel that for the price point, you're getting very interesting and high quality items. For example, this gray bat sleeve shirt from MM6 is actually one of the first designer items I have ever purchased in my entire life. I have been wearing it on repeat since 2008, I believe, because I think I bought it in the summer of 2008. No, actually in the summer of 2009. And it hasn't lost its shape, it hasn't lost its color, and to me it also looks so cool, and it just kind of remains relevant. So with MM6, I feel like you can always find a piece of ready-to-wear, and specifically like a button-up shirt that actually will become a staple in your wardrobe. And another brand that I also wanted to mention is Dries Van Noten. So I spoke a lot about this brand in my last video because Dries Van Noten himself has actually left his design house. So I have been focusing a lot on his last collection for his design house and trying to buy something from this last collection that once again I could wear, but I could also keep as something memorable, like a historic collector's item. So I actually bought a very interesting and unique button-up shirt from Dries Van Noten as well. So now I do want to do another unboxing, and this is actually for two ready-to-wear items. One is from Dries Van Noten and the other one is from MM6, and both of them are button-up or button-down shirts. These are the shirts right here. I haven't looked at them, but they came packaged like this from Farfetch, because Farfetch sends you stuff from different boutiques. So we're going to open one of them right now, and I'm going to see which one this is, Dries Van Noten or MM6. All right, just by the color of this shirt, I see that this is a Dries Van Noten shirt from his last women's collection, which I believe was the fall 2024 collection. So this is the shirt right here. As you can see, it has this light sort of checkered pattern and long sleeve. And on the front of the shirt, it is completely plain because the buttons are actually at the back of the shirt. And I'm going to show you some pictures to kind of show you how this shirt was styled in the last collection of Dries Van Noten, at least his last ready-to-wear collection. And the reason I got this shirt is, once again, because I tend to buy shirts like this on repeat. I think they're so interesting but easy to style. And secondly, similar to the socks that I unboxed earlier, I feel like this particular shirt actually appeared in so many different looks from Driess's last collection. So I felt like it would be nice, kind of historic, memorable item to have, but also an item which I would definitely wear a lot, because once again, this is something that I tend to style a lot. By the way, this shirt actually came from a boutique in Poland, I believe, called Witka's, and I managed to get it on Farfetch, also on a very good sale. I'm going to put the price online, and I believe that this shirt is still available on Farfetch, so I'm also going to include a link in the description box down below. But I got myself size medium, because when it comes to buying things online, I would rather have something that is a little larger as opposed to something that's a bit too small, because it is much easier to alter a larger size as opposed to like a smaller size. So this is one shirt that I wanted to show you today, a new item from my kind of ready-to-wear collection. Okay, and this is going to be the last unboxing for today. And since I just show you a shirt from Dries Van Noten, I know that this shirt right here is actually from MM6, so a line by Maison Margiela. So you can see kind of a big circle around 6 right here, and this is the shirt itself. So the shirt is still available online, and I'm going to put up some pictures, and also I'm going to include a link in the description box down below. But I'm going to tell you why I actually chose this shirt. As you can see, it has this laminated tape detail. And from back in the day, when I first started buying Maison Margiela back in like 2008, this tape detail was kind of like a signature element from the design house. I actually have some ready-to-wear pieces from Maison Margiela, when Martin Margiela was the creative director, and those pieces have this tape detail on them, which once again I thought was just like such an interesting kind of avant-garde deconstructed element that Maison Margiela adds to the garments. And so in the current collection from MM6, I noticed that there are quite a few different pieces, like this shirt and also a t-shirt, a dress, some jeans that include this laminated kind of tape element. And I thought that this element right here really pays homage to Maison Margiela as a brand, kind of really doubles down on some of the main and most unique elements from this design house. So I decided I simply must have at least one item with this tape element from the recent MM6 collection. And out of all of the items that are available, I chose this button-up or button-down shirt, simply because, once again, I love shirts like this, and I think they're so easy but interesting for styling. And even though I have quite a few white cotton shirts of this nature, all of them are actually different, because I do not have a shirt in my collection that has this type of tape element. In any case, for me, this is a great buy for the summer, and something that I'm also planning to keep and wear for many years to come. All right, we are done with all the unboxings for today, so let me mention just two more categories of designer items that I tend to buy on repeat. And the fourth category for today is going to be statement costume jewelry. Now, yes, I know spending money on costume jewelry from designer brands is not necessarily the best decision, right? Because sometimes this costume jewelry actually costs a lot of money. And if you would just save up a little bit more, it is possible to buy something that is made out of actual gold, diamonds, and so on. But here, I'm really talking about statement jewelry pieces. Because, in all honesty, if this right here was made out of real gold, diamonds, and pearls, I would never be able to afford a statement piece like this. But when it comes to costume jewelry, you can invest some money and get a statement piece that once again can elevate any outfit and make even the most simple outfit quite interesting. So this choker from Vivienne Westwood is definitely one of my most favorite statement pieces of costume jewelry. And I feel that it goes so well with so many different outfits. And I like to wear it out when I'm going to the theater or maybe to the opera, but I also wear it a lot on kind of more everyday basis because I think it is such a cool statement. Another piece that I recently bought was actually this necklace. I'm going to put some pictures up here from Dries van Noten, from his last runway that was done for women's ready to wear. And as I mentioned just earlier today, I really love buying pieces that are notable like this and pieces that, represent something, represent a piece of history within the broader world of luxury fashion. So I haven't worn this Dries van Noten necklace yet because I literally just unboxed it like a couple of days ago on this channel, but I am excited about being able to wear it and being able to style it. And the last category of items that I keep buying on repeat are flat winter fall boots. So I have, I think, 4 pairs right now. Let me see, it's Prada, Fendi, René Caovilla, and Christian Louboutin. And I noticed that I constantly, oh, and also a pair of Stella McCartney flat winter boots as well. So let's say 5 pairs. And I noticed that I constantly keep looking at more similar pairs like this. And I think the reason that I like flat boots so much is because, well, first of all, I don't have to worry about wearing heels when the weather is a bit cold. So I feel that it is much easier for my everyday needs to just put on a pair of flat boots and go do things that I need to do. Secondly, I think flat boots like this are actually very easy to style because you could be wearing them with a pair of jeans, trousers. You can tuck in the trousers or maybe keep the trousers out and sort of, cover the boots with the trousers. You could also wear boots like this with a skirt. So I really feel like the possibilities are endless. And I noticed that within the 5 pairs that I have, I basically have every single sort of main color that I tend to have in my wardrobe. So I've got the black, the beige, the white, and then just kind of the off-white color. So in that sense, I like making sure that I always have a matching pair of shoes for whatever my wardrobe needs might be. What's also interesting for me is I feel like I tend to like boots like this much more than any type of designer sneakers. I noticed that with the designer sneakers, the kind of cycle of what is trending and what is fashionable changes quite rapidly. And I still have quite a few, or maybe like 3 pairs of white designer sneakers that I just feel are a little bit outdated now. I still wear them because I'm not gonna get rid of something just because it is not trending. But I noticed that if I spend money on designer sneakers, there is always a chance that they're going to become outdated quite quickly. But with the designer boots, I kind of feel that there is much more longevity. And with flat designer boots, there is just much more practicality. Anyway, I do not want to talk more about the designer boots simply because we are going into the summer months. But the ones that I do have, if I can actually find them online, I'm going to link them in the description box down below. All right, well, that's it from me today. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you notice that there are certain categories of luxury designer items that you tend to buy on repeat? Which are those categories? And why do you think you actually buy so many of those items? And before you go, please check out another Savvy Luxury video right here. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Take care and bye-bye.